for a wheel in my heel. So you can't imagine what a
Absolutely.
treat.
I think
So
all
God
of us
bless you
are.
all.
I think all of us are like
For
really
sure,
कोरोना में
for
wait.
चोल्टू
sure.
क्या है
We love
आपको तो इतना
traveling.
शौक है
So, I
Oh
mean, sitting at
yeah.
home, why not? I mean, this is the
Anita,
best way
when
to go,
Corona
isn't it?
Baba says bye-bye, do put a GSU traveling group together.
Oh,
I'm signed
yes,
for
yes.
anywhere you're going.
Absolutely. We have quite a
Yeah.
number of them on
Oh
queue. So,
man,
yes, I
yes,
think we
Me
yes.
should
too.
do that. Yes,
Okay, me
Margaret.
keep adding your numbers and your names.
Yeah, Neelam also loves to travel. Good. Yeah, Neelam. So I think all you guys have to join us when we have the travel diaries where people come and discuss about
Oh,
the travel,
certainly,
where they've been, and
certainly.
things like that. That would be absolutely lovely.
Has it been
Yes.
scheduled, Anita?
Not yet, not yet. No,
All right,
no.
okay.
Yeah.
So
I
eagerly
need to
await.
get all the travel lovers together first, and then we will
Certainly,
do it.
certainly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful,
Needs a little bit of
wonderful.
organizing because then they can talk to us also
That's
about
right.
their experiences and things like that.
Are you
That would
trying
be
to get
wonderful.
professionals also of the field or just travel lovers from here?
We will see. I think first we will just discuss. I mean, just us and
All
the
right,
people
okay. So
who
I'll
will
discuss with
travel and
you
things like that.
separately because I have one or two
Yeah.
pointers, so I'll share them with you.
Yes. Of course.
All
I mean,
right.
that's what the session is all about. So you can
Certainly,
also share.
certainly,
That
certainly.
would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have about 13 people, and let's start with an introduction to Get Set Up. As you know, all of you are aware that Get Set Up is a platform for the seniors and by the seniors. We have some wonderful, wonderful sessions coming up, all for you, all designed for you. And so please go on the website, which is www.getsetup.in. Check out all the classes that we have, everything ranging from yoga, meditation, dance, music, and like we have travel just now, we have some very good doctors coming and giving us talks. We also have ambassadors also joining us on talk shows. So please go ahead on the website, check out all the classes. We have everything has been scheduled for the month of March. So go ahead and register so that you don't miss out on any of the classes. And on the chat, Sid would have put down all the links. So please click on the WhatsApp link and the Facebook link and join us there, because we do go live on some of the classes on Facebook. Don't miss that out. In case if you can't join, you can always see it on Facebook, and also the WhatsApp group, because in case you have not registered, you can just click on that link, and we'll be sending you links, live links to all the classes, so that way you don't miss out on anything. And so that's it from the Get Set Up side. I'm going to be sharing my screen a little bit and telling you all about this trip. And before that, I would like to know how many of you all have gone to Egypt? How many of you all have visited Egypt? I'm going to remove my spotlight just now so that I can see everybody. How many of you have traveled to Egypt? Anybody? Yes, no? No, nobody? Great. So then we are all on the same boat and we're all going to Egypt together. So that should be like really nice today. So before we start, I'll be taking you all to the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is the most famous pyramid, and it is an absolute fantastic architectural marvel. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit of history and what about the pyramids and everything, so that when we go there, actually in the virtual tour, you would be able to understand the beauty of this and the awesomeness of this architecture, which is the Pyramid of Giza. So I'm going to start off, and then I will be doing a presentation to give you a full history of the pyramids. And then we will go on the virtual tour, where we will also go on a short cruise on the Nile before we come to the last part. Okay, so let me start off with why did why did they actually build the Giza pyramid? The pyramids were built as burial places and monuments to the pharaohs, which we all know. As part of their religion, the Egyptians believed that the pharaohs needed certain things to succeed in their afterlife. So deep inside the pyramid, the pharaoh would be buried with all sorts of items and treasures that he may need to survive in the afterlife. The most famous Egyptian pyramids are located at Giza near Cairo. The pyramids of Giza are some of the largest structures ever built. The Great Pyramid of Khufu at Giza is the tallest pyramid in the world. It's also one of the seven wonders of the ancient world in existence. Now, how many of you know about anything at all about pyramids? How many of you are a little bit aware, at least, of pyramids? Anyone here? Any background, anything at all, or you have no clue? Great. That's exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to share my screen now to tell you guys a little bit about the pyramids, and it's super interesting, really, trust me. Let me just share my screen. Okay, can you all see my screen? Can you all see my screen, all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm going to start off with the first slide. Here we go. Okay, so as you can see, the Pyramid of Giza was built 4,500 years ago, and it remained the tallest man-made building until the 19th century. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, until the 19th century, it was the tallest man-made building. This means it stood its place as the tallest building for almost 3,800 years. The baffling thing about these ancient pyramids is that the Egyptians' ability to build something so gigantic with prehistoric building methods. Now, with all our latest technology, with all our latest architectural marvels, we still cannot figure out or understand how they did this. Now, on the subject of pyramids, how many pyramids do you think are still there on Earth? 5, 10? Can anybody guess? Pyramids in different all over the world. Can anyone guess how many pyramids you think there are? There are. Anyone? Come on, guys. You guys are on a tour. You got to talk.
10.
10. Well, no, actually there are about they are the numbered in actually thousands, which even I was a little surprised. So now imagine the time, and with no advanced machinery, when there were no cranes or forklifts. It was during this time that the Egyptians erected these pyramids with stones that weigh about 10 tons per piece. That is 10 tons. Each stone is weighs like an elephant, almost like an elephant. It's 10 each brick, or rather each stone. All of these stones were hoisted and laid one by one on top of each other. We can only imagine how this process was carried on. Researchers are still working and figuring it out. How could they have done this? I mean, in those days, I mean, nowadays we have cranes, we have so many things which was not there before. So can you imagine the labor, the manual labor that would have gone into carrying each and every stone and placing it? And the thing is, the height of the pyramid, if you see, it's mind boggling to even think about it. Now let's go to the next slide. Now there are so there, like I said, there was no advanced machinery or anything like that. Now another startling fact is that there exists intricate webs of passages inside, shafts, chambers under the pyramids. These tunnels behold hundreds of years of history and thousands of artifacts. Although the Egyptian authorities have excavated and got hold of most of the gold and uh, precious things inside, but actual details are still not available as to how much was there and how much and where exactly all the gold and the artifacts have gone. Now, do you see this stone kind of structure over here? Can you all see what? Can anyone guess what this stone structure is? Can anyone guess? This is inside the pyramid, by the way.
Burial? Is it burial place?
Is
Well,
it
it is. The pyramid itself is a burial place.
Yeah, but
Now,
where they place the body.
that's
Is it a
right.
coffin?
Channel.
हाँ ये evergreen पे क्यों कर दिया?
नहीं किया मैंने
Okay,
नहीं
can
किया
you
यार,
please
हो
mute
गया।
yourself? There's a lot of disturbance. Everybody, please mute yourself. Okay, let me just tell you. Inside the main chamber of the Giza is a coffer that is way too large. It is, if you so there's a disturbance, please mute yourself. Yeah, this granite coffer lies inside the main chamber of the Great Pyramid of Kufa. At first glance, you won't notice anything out of the ordinary. It seems just perfectly normal. But when you take a closer look, you realize that it is made of one solid, huge piece of granite that cannot fit through the passageway that you just when you get inside the pyramid, there is a passageway. Now that is so narrow, definitely such a big thing definitely could not have gotten inside after they built the pyramid. Now that is another big mystery. So they think that the pyramid was built around this, because definitely they couldn't have taken this inside through the narrow entrance. So it had to be that this was there. They made this out of one solid stone, and then they went on to build the pyramid. Now, another funny part about pyramids, interesting fact rather, is that the extraordinary structures is, despite the harsh fluctuating temperatures of night and day, they maintain a constant temperature of 20 degrees Celsius inside. So basically outside, even if it is scorching heat, inside the temperature always remains the same at about 20 degrees Celsius. And so how were this this accurate 4,500 years ago? It is like pretty strange that without any technology, these people were so stunning in their architectural. So this another thing is that nobody till date can figure out how it was that they came to do this. There is an old Arabic proverb which means man fears time, time fears pyramids. Now, pyramids are one of the oldest standing wonders. The reason is the super adhesive mortar made to fix the stones in place. Now, do you see those big stones out there? Super huge big stones. What did they use? Excuse me. The mortar they used was something that was, the adhesive nature of it was so fantastic that it's held in place for more than now 3,800 years plus. But the exact combination of the ingredients of this mortar, no one knows. Now, almost 5 million tons of mortar was used to strengthen and is more than the stone itself. The mortar was more than the quantity of stones to keep the whole thing in place. But obviously, if you see the entire structure, it couldn't have been done otherwise. Now, can you see the small door-like thing over here at the entrance? Can everyone see that? This is a 20-ton swivel door. There exists a total of 3 swivel doors in the Pyramid of Giza. So if you go around the pyramid, you will find 3 of these entrances. One of the enormous doors is a 20-ton swivel door, and it is so well balanced that it can be opened from the inside with just one hand. Now, isn't that fantastic? A marvel where architecture is concerned. Simply amazing that I mean, they must have placed it in such an angle or whatever that with just one hand you can just move the whole stone and go inside. So they have 3 of these swivel doors in the pyramid basically. And now if you see, don't you see that the pyramid is like shining, like you can see light reflecting off the pyramid? I know it surprises you, right? Because this is not the pyramid we see now, right? I mean, anybody has any thing to say on this particular picture? Anybody knows why it is like this or how it came to be like this? Anybody has any clue? You can
No idea.
unmute yourself. Okay, all right. So at the time of construction, these ancient Egyptian pyramids were covered with a well-polished casing of limestone. The limestone, when laid on the pyramids sparkled literally like diamonds when the sun would shine. But it's not there anymore because most of it has been chipped away, and and in fact most of the stones themselves have been taken away for other construction in Egypt, like mosques and things like that. So which is why when you see the full pyramid, sometimes you'll see it like in certain places the brick has come off and things like that. Now, another absolutely architectural wonder is that they did not just build a pyramid like, from top to bottom and just arrange the stones. No, 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 no. There are three pyramids in Giza. All three pyramids are aligned exactly to be in line with the three stars of the Orion belt. I don't know if all of you know the Orion belt. It is, if you're a little bit familiar with the astronomy, you will know that the three stars of the Orion belt, um, it while creating a faithful mimicry, basically they wanted to like mimic the stars, the Orion belt. The pyramids of Giza actually point directly towards the Orion's belt. Okay, so I mean, if you guys know astronomy, probably you would know a little more. There is a scientific reason for that. I mean, we don't know exactly why they did that. Probably they had some gods or something like that to um, for maybe some religious or reasons that it was done. Now, can anybody tell me what this is? This is definitely, you guys must know what this is. Anyone?
Sphinx. Sphinx.
Absolutely. And what is a sphinx? Do you know what is it for and why is it there? Anyone?
I think it's a half lion,
Half
It
man,
is.
half lion.
Absolutely.
lion.
It has the man of a head, right? It has a man of a
Yeah,
head.
half man, half lion.
Exactly. So this huge statue of Sphinx was built near the Great Pyramid around 4,500 years ago. It has the body structure of a lion and the head of a pharaoh. So it's not just anybody's head, but the head of a pharaoh, because he was the leader and he is the person who's like buried inside the pyramid. The sole purpose of the Sphinx was to guard the pyramid of Khafre at Giza. So basically, the Sphinx is found in Giza. And the reason why the Egyptians built this is because they thought that the Sphinx would take care of the pharaoh when they're buried inside. And the the funny part is like this, the pyramids are, the stones are like steps which go up. Another reason for that is because they thought that the spirit would climb up those steps and go right up to heaven. It's just a this thing what the Egyptians used to believe in, because they were very mythical. They had very mythical gods and they had their own religious rituals and things like that. So this was one of them. Now, this man, does anybody know who this is? Anybody? He's a pretty historical and very important where the pyramids are concerned. Does
Is he
anyone?
Tutankhamun?
No, Tutankhamun was a king, was a
Not
pharaoh,
Tutankhamun.
actually, one of the famous pharaohs. And yes, we all know about the Tutankhamun pyramids where they found a lot of gold and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That was quite famous. No, he's not Tutankhamun. He was the multi-talented Imhotep. I mean, that's the name. It's Imhotep. Okay. Now, Imhotep was one of the earliest master architects of Egypt. He was an absolute master architect of Egypt. He is known as the inventor of pyramids. His skill sets don't end there. And he was a physician, he was an astronomer, he was a high priest. He was basically everything put into one. So Egypt was like, you can say in one way, blessed to have this guy. And we are blessed because without him, we wouldn't have had the pyramids. He's the guy who designed and basically his designs are the one which held on, and that's what we are seeing today. And some of the Egyptians, not now anymore, but before, they literally used to worship this guy because of his because he was also like a high priest and he was an astronomer. So many of them must have probably gone to him for, like, astrology and things like that. So, do you know what is the average time taken to build one of these pyramids? Does anybody can even guess? What do you think must be the time taken to build one of these pyramids? Anybody? Any idea? Come on, let your imagination run wild. This is not a test, so you can answer. Just what do you think? Looking at that awesome
5
structure.
years. 5 years.
5 years. Okay. Anybody else? Anyone else?
Because they had labor power. That is why I'm saying 5 years. A lot of men who do this kind of work.
10
Uh-huh.
years?
10 years? No, not. No, no. Anyone else?
I think much more
15.
than that.
15, still not close. Purnima, what you wanted to say something? You're on mute, Purnima.
100.
100.
100.
No. 100, I don't think. Well, then I don't think they would have lived to see it.
22 years.
20
Hey,
years.
that was close. Who said 22?
To 20.
20.
So the pharaoh died.
Almost. Right. They took almost 23 years to complete. Okay. So, though highly sophisticated in terms of accuracy and architecture, the Great Pyramid of Giza took almost 23 years to complete. Most of the pyramids were built simultaneously. Okay. So, it is not that they were concentrating on one, they did it all simultaneously. Pyramids are one of the marvelous examples of engineering in ancient history, which still remains a subject of research and curiosity. Now, I was watching a documentary where it said that, like I told you, each stone weighs so many tons. Like, it's, and if you can see,
Put it on
they
like this, otherwise it will fall.
are, Margaret, can you please mute yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. So if, as you can see, the roughs are not perfectly cut. Like in today's buildings, we have bricks which are absolutely machine made. So everything is the same size and all. But these are literally rough hewn rocks, which are kind of put together. Okay. Now, these rocks with the size, they're all put together in place in such a way that there is no gap at all. So the motor that holds it together, can you imagine the strength of the motor that should hold this whole thing together for so many years? For us, like even building 100 years becomes so feeble, right? I mean, it falls down, it kind of breaks in places and things like that. This thing has held on for so many thousands of years with that particular motor which held the bricks together. Now, this the now inside the pyramid, we all know that are the burial goods. Now, the burial goods, like we have seen many movies, right? On what is that, Mummy? No, Mummy, yeah, Mummy has so many. If you can see inside all the big boxes of gold and gems and gemstones and precious stones and everything, whatever possible. Now, all these are also called as grave goods. Why? Because the pyramid itself is a grave, right? So what you find inside the burial tomb is the grave goods. Now, Egyptians believed that Egypt was the best place God could have created any human to live. Well, that is what Egyptians believed. And if you know, Kerala in India is also called God's, what is that? God's, anybody knows what Kerala is called in India?
God's
Sarita?
own
God's own
country.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we also have God's own country here in India. So the Egyptians back then thought that this is the best place God could have created for any human. They believed that once a person is dead, he or she enters a similar mirrored world in above, like in the heavens or whatever, something like that. They believed that this was exactly what was there in the heavens. The only difference they imagined was the absence of sorrow and grief. So they believe that when the here on earth with this pyramid, we have the sorrow and grief, but when they go up, they'll be devoid of the sorrow and grief. They believe that one might need things in the another life, just like we need now, which is why they put in everything that belonged to the pharaoh, right from his clothes to the jewelry, his crown, and even sometimes his his servants or the people who waited on him were also buried along with him, just so that he shouldn't lack anything in the afterlife, or when his spirit comes out. So they buried a body with necessities, and in case of kings in the pyramid, they used to bury gold and other valuable commodities with the body. All the precious artifacts found in the pyramids are with the Egyptian authorities now. Well, of course, we do have many people who have gone, who have excavated, and there were a lot of tomb robbers. All of you must have heard of tomb robbers, right? Where they came and took away all the gold and but so when this happened, then the Egyptian authorities took charge, and that is when they realized, oh, this has got some real huge treasure inside. So they went and now they confiscated, they took charge of everything. So now Egypt authorities are in charge of this, of all the gold and whatever else that you can find inside. Now, this particular picture, you can see one small shadow on the right hand side, right? Any idea what one of the very catchy things about pyramids? Anybody who knows about the shadow time of pyramids? Anyone here knows? Okay. So pyramids are one of the most extensively studied architecture in the world. Okay. Now the mystery around its construction is haunting, literally haunting. We cannot figure out even today how could they have done this. Among the many properties of the pyramids, one was of it being a sundial. Now when I say a sundial, you can actually tell the time with the pyramid. Margaret, you nodded your head when I said sundial. Do you know anything about it? Tell us a little bit more if you know. You're on mute. You're on mute.
I vaguely thought that was the reason, for the
Right.
shadows, the sun. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was one of the most sophisticated sundials found across the globe, which indicated a solstic and equinox. At noon during spring, the Great Pyramid of Giza casts no shadows. No shadows. Okay, that is the uh, amazing part about it. So, but this is during spring. For some reason, nobody can figure out why or how, because it is built in precision angles. It is built in precision pointers, that it points to a particular astronomical, not astronomical, sorry, astronomy. It's aligned to astronomy in such a way that it does not cast shadows, which is again a super interesting and intriguing factor about the pyramids. Now, there are a lot of tunnels under the pyramids. I'm not sure if you guys have known about this. I did read about it some time back, that there are tunnels where through these tunnels you can reach another pyramid, and you can also go and reach other places in the city. So a startling fact is that the existence of this intricate web of numerous tunnels, mysterious chambers, and shafts under the pyramids. So it is a mystery. Why? Because we cannot figure out why. Why did they do these tunnels? For what? The tunnels are old, as this means as old as the soil itself, and thousands, and it has thousands of artifacts. It had. I don't think it has anymore. Not many people know about this, as the tunnel excavations are supervised by the government and information held with quiet and high level of confidentiality. The details of the commodities found under these pyramids, in the tunnels and the shafts, have never been shared with the public. So you can imagine, in those days, this shaft, this tunnel that you're looking, must have been on both the sides filled with maybe pictures, or maybe we don't know whatever's to do with the kings, and it was absolutely full of these things. But the point is, they did keep all this. Why? Because no one, I mean, in those days when they were doing it, then it was such a precious religious a monumental thing for them, that they would never have imagined that somebody would actually come and excavate, not excavate, sorry, is not the right word, would come and try and figure out, go inside and take things out or rob things from the pyramids. Now that is absolutely something which they would not have even imagined, which is why they had put all this stuff, this precious stones and gold and stuff inside. Now, like I said, it took 23 years to complete, and how they did it without highly sophisticated instruments, such a sophisticated structure is impossible even to believe. Now, we have come to the end of the slide, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So are we a little bit aware now of the pyramids? Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
very
Do you want to,
amazing.
absolutely amazing, don't you think so? I mean, it's just
Yes,
fantastic
very
to even
interesting, very interesting.
yes, it is like really wonderful to think that there's so much history and so much more to go. I mean, I had to put everything concise into one just to make sure that we cover everything before we go. So now I will take you all to a kind of virtual tour where you'll get a little bit more closer look at the pyramids. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again, and you got to just Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Okay, I'm stopping the music, but we will play it in some time. I'm going to make this full screen. Can everybody see this now? Can everyone see this?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
we can
Yes.
see.
Just
Yes.
Sakina, you're on mute.
I can see it, Anita.
You're on.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah, can you all see this, everyone?
Yes, we
Yes.
can see.
Yes.
Hello, can you all see this? Can someone tell me yes or no?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Clear.
Okay, I mean, I'm not able to hear, but I hope you all can see.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm just going to move about a little bit. Can you all see the stones? The size of the stones here, it's more visible.
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
visible.
Hello,
Yes.
I'm still not able to hear any.
Yes.
Can someone tell me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, just put it on chat so that I will know whether you're able to see it or not.
Yes.
Okay, Sid, can you just call me on the phone and tell me if it's visible?
It is visible.
I'm going to just shift the screen a little bit to show you the height of the pyramid. Can you all see the height of the pyramid now? Can you all see the
Yes.
Sid, can you just call me on the phone and tell me if it's
Yes.
visible? Because I'm not able to hear anyone for some reason. Okay. Can you see? Can everyone see?
Yes.
Yes.
Can see, right?
Yes.
Can see? Okay.
Yes.
All right, great. So I just wanted to say, 1 second. I'm just going to go the angle a little bit. Yeah, right. Okay. Now, can you see the people standing over here? I mean, you can see some people in colored clothes, right? Now, just measure the height of the pyramid. Look at them standing there. See how small they are. They are almost the size of the stone. And then see the height of the pyramid.
Yeah.
I mean, it is fascinating. It's fantastic. Now, can you see this thing over here, this entrance place, which I had showed you in the PPT? Can you see the entry to the pyramid here?
Hmm.
Yes.
Must be the
So
door.
this is the entry to the pyramid over here. And if you see the blocks, I mean, you cannot even imagine how this could have been done. Now, back then, they did not have cranes, remember. So see the stone, see the size of the stone. To carry each of these stones and put it one on top of the other uh, at this height, wow, I think it is really a fascinating marvel, architectural marvel rather. We can see a lot of Indians standing there.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, I think in Egypt there are a lot of Indians. Wherever you go, you will see Indians mainly. So let us try another angle. See the stone down. You can see the texture of the stone down. It's the limestone which I was talking about. So this is how the whole pyramid, this thing looks. And there are around 138 Egyptian pyramids. So some of them are huge. The largest is the Khufu, which is called the Great Pyramid of Giza, which was built. This is 480 feet tall, by the way. It is 480 feet tall. This pyramid, what you see here, is 480 feet tall. It was the tallest man-made structure, like I told you. And it's estimated that this pyramid was made from 2.3 million blocks of rock weighing 5.9 million tons. So originally it was 488 feet, but today it's only 445. The missing 33 feet were high quality casing stones that were removed long ago to build houses and mosques, like I said. So you might notice in certain places there are, some brick is missing and the stones are not there and things like that. So the reason behind it is that the stones have been removed by people. That is one of the reasons. And so if we go around, we see people all around here. So basically, as you can see, it's like kind of on a slight height, and you can see the city view where people walk up to the pyramid. And actually it's a very long walk. If you want to walk up to the pyramid as a tourist, it's quite a long walk. See the height, so it can be viewed from a very long distance as well. So people from the city can see the pyramids. I mean, that was one of the reasons why it was built in this particular location, or they took this particular spot so that it, like the whole country, or not the country, sorry, the city of Cairo can view it from anywhere, because at that point in time, that was it. This was the tallest building ever. So that was one of the reasons why. And again, I'm just so fascinated by this structure that I just cannot have enough of it. The height and the how they could have built this. So that's like super fascinating to me. I'm going to go to the next one. Let's see what we have over there. So when you go as a tourist, this is where you need to probably park your car and you walk. So you can see all the tourists in line. So you just keep walking and walking and walking for a long distance. They don't allow cars very close because of pollution and to a kind of, it's a monument, right? So they have to keep it safe. And so that's one of the reasons why you are made to park and then travel by foot close to the pyramid. So as you can see, all the people have parked the cars over here, and then you go by foot to near the pyramid. I'm just showing you this place around so that you know what is there when you this thing. So there you can see the Sphinx, and behind the Sphinx is the pyramid. So the Sphinx is basically guarding the pyramids. Now, deep inside the pyramids lay the pharaoh's burial chamber, which would be filled with treasure and items for the pharaoh to use in the afterlife. The walls were often covered with carvings and paintings. Near the pharaoh's chamber would be other rooms where family members, servants were buried. They were often small rooms that acted as temples and larger rooms for storage. Narrow passages led outside. Sometimes fake burial chambers or passages would be used to trick grave robbers. Okay, so that is one of the reasons why those passages were there. Because there was such valuable buried treasure within the pyramid, grave robbers would try to break in and steal the treasure. Despite Egyptian efforts, nearly all of the pyramids were robbed of the treasure by 1000 BC. So the grave robbers were the biggest problem because they kind of uh, took away most of all the treasures and everything from the pyramid. All right, so that's one. Let's go to the next one. Okay, before we go here, I just want to go back and I just want to tell you the city of Giza is found in the northern region of the country, on the western bank of the Nile. Okay, the Giza is the third largest Egyptian city behind Cairo. Each pyramid holds the remains of members of the fourth dynasty. This is the royal family which reigned around 2613 to 94 BC, and all of the pyramids were built during this time in their power. The Giza necropolis is also where you'll find the enigmatic great things, like you can see here. And well, they're originally covered with flat white polished stones, like I told you. That is to reflect the sun so that the whole of the city, you can view it from a very long distance. So this, now it's a UNESCO listed site, and it's just a little bit, the height is a little bit shorter than the monument of Washington, D.C. And I'm sure all of you must have heard that, okay, it was built by laborers and it was built by slaves and things like that. That is not true at all. It was actually built by people who were paid for it. I mean, they were paid laborers, basically. The discovery of a village located near pyramids had led to archaeologists and Egyptologists to believe that at a peak, around 20,000 Egyptians were working to construct the pyramids. 20,000, okay, at any point in time. So one of the most impressive pyramids, and each of the limestones that is used to build it, each stone weighs almost the size of an SUV. Okay, it's like that big. How exactly they were able to lift it and put it all together, we don't know. We assume that they must have used a ramp and pulley system, which was very prevalent in those days. And the Great Pyramid points precisely to the north. The pyramids of Egypt are all built on the west of the River Nile. Now, this is because the western side was associated with land of the dead, and that is one of the reasons. Okay, so that is kind of the history of the pyramids. Now, maybe we should go a little shopping. Okay, if you see, I mean, so this shop is where you get all the papyrus. Anybody here knows what's a papyrus? It's like everybody, all of us have studied it in
It's a
history when
reed.
we were in
It's a
school.
reed.
Papyrus,
Paper made
unmute
from
and tell
reed.
me.
It's a
Leaves.
paper. It's a reed found in
Paper
the
made
river.
from the reed.
Yeah,
Nile.
River. Nile,
Yeah,
Nile.
paper was made from it. That was the earliest
absolutely,
paper.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm
This
going to
was
tell
made
you a little bit more about it because the shop is all completely with papyrus. I mean, where you can buy your souvenirs and things like that. What is papyrus? It's basically a grass that grew 10 feet high. It was used to making everything in ancient Egypt, from baskets to sandals to perfumes, you name it, it was all made with papyrus. Now, paper made with papyrus was the chief writing material in ancient Egypt and was adopted by the Greeks as well. It is not used. It is used not only for production of books, but also for correspondence and legal documents. This is they used papyrus in those days. Ancient writing often went right to left and then left to right, like the plows in the field. I mean, they had a special way of writing, and it was not easy to write in a papyrus. Forget painting. Even writing on a papyrus is very difficult because the fibers come out when you're writing. They were definitely, some of them, some of the particular this thing were used as a medium for painting or artwork, And nearly all of the surviving papyrus documents and fragments are of texts, which means we have olden text days from of ancient days. Like, has anybody here heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls? The Dead Sea Scrolls, has anybody heard of it? No? Okay. Now, can you see the paintings? I mean, they're all done on papyrus, and they are like papyrus, by the way. You can choose, there are so many scenes depicted on this papyrus, and they are used as a medium for painting or artwork. Nearly all of the documents, like I said, are religious texts mainly, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, which was found after so many thousands and thousands of years. Most papyrus art sold today comes from a small workshop and factories based in Eastern, it's called Al-Shakira. This was the source of the papyrus even at the time of the pharaohs, and it is still the source of papyrus. Now, to bring the past alive with Egyptian papyrus paintings depicting daily life, mythology, gods, goddesses. As you can see in the paintings, they're all mythology. Everything is from mythology over here. And the best way to, now, if you want to know, if you're in Egypt and if you want to know if you're getting original or if you're getting a fake, there is a test that can be done. The best way to tell is to dampen it. It'll not fall apart, don't worry, but dampen it. And there is a light and dark papyrus paper as well. The longer it is soaked for, the darker the paper becomes. Ancient Egyptians believed with brushes, just like we do now. They used some kind of a white material to smoothen the surface for the painting. So basically, papyrus is such a fantastic material to write and keep and store that it lasts. I know it looks like, just grass and it looks so this one, but it lasts literally for a very, very, very long time. Let's move on, because otherwise we will not finish our tour. We have somebody shopping here as well. We're going to move a little bit more further because we got a little time, and we have to go on the Nile cruise as well. Now, can you see this picture here? I mean, this is such a famous picture. You look at this and you know it is Egyptian, right? Because of the
Margaret has a picture.
like that. Okay, so next, now we are going to go for this boat ride, sorry, a cruise on the Nile. Okay, and as you can see, Indians again. So hi everyone, take your seat and watch out for the Nile. As we go for a cruise on the Nile, I would like to, just a minute, I would like to tell you a little bit about the Nile over here. The Nile River has certainly played a very critical role in ancient history of Egypt. So just a minute, let me see where this goes. So it has to go like this. Yeah, now you can see the Nile, right? So the famous and longest river in the world. Nile is the famous and longest river in the world. The river got its name from the Greek gods, Nilios, which means valley. Now the Nile floods the land of Egypt, leaving behind black sediments. And that is one of the reasons why it is uh, called Nile. Okay, that is the main reason. That's why it's called the Egyptian name, the river of Ar, meaning black, because it used to leave a black sediment after it floods the place. Okay, let's go this side and see the view of the river. This is just the cruise ship that we are going to be going on, a cruise. Okay. So you can see all the other ships also docked over there. So let's go on this one. Yes, this is what we wanted to see, the Nile. Here we go. Can you all see the Nile? I mean, that's a beautiful view of the Nile. The Nile River Delta was also an ideal location for growing the papyrus plant. The ancient Egyptians used papyrus plant in many ways, such as clothes, boxes, and ropes, like I told you. Besides using the river's natural sources for themselves, and trading was among them also. Early Egyptians also used the river for bathing, drinking, recreation, and transportation. Today, 95% of Egyptians live within a few kilometers of the Nile. Canals bring water from the Nile to irrigate farms and support cities. The Nile supports agriculture and fishing. The Nile River flows over 6,000 kilometers, that is 4,100 miles, until emptying into the Mediterranean Sea. So it goes and empties itself to the Mediterranean Sea. For thousands of years, the river has provided source of irrigation to transform the dry area around it to lush agricultural ground. Can you all see that? Let me just go this side a little bit. Yeah. Today, the river continues to serve as a source of irrigation as well as an important transportation and trade route. Yeah. So we are going on this Nile cruise. It's almost a half a day, which moves on to the night. So you can, after the sunset, we are all going to have dinner on the deck. So get ready for a beautiful nighttime view of the Nile. So this is sunset, basically. You can see the waters turning gray in color because as the sunset, this is the view you get of the Nile River when you're cruising on it. Okay, this is absolutely beautiful. Now let's move on to see how it looks at night. So this is where we are on the deck. Get your drinks, get your dinner, and have a seat on the deck so that we can all have a look at the river and the city at night. So you can see those big buildings behind. The right in front of us is the Four Seasons Hotel. It's, of course, one of the super luxury hotels in the world, and it's in most of the major cities. So the Four Seasons of Cairo is what you can see here. Then we can go on to see other places as well. So we have another big building here. I can't figure out what that is, but I guess that also must be a hotel because it looks like one. And you can see the city lights reflecting on the water, shimmering on the water rather. So this is from your deck. This is the view of the nightlife in Cairo. Are you guys enjoying it? Is it beautiful?
Yes, it's very beautiful.
Definitely, very beautiful.
Yeah, the night view of the city is absolutely fantastic, especially when you're sitting on the deck with a breeze blowing on your face and you have some nice snacks, dinner, drinks, whatever. Everything is just so beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And to top it all, the cruise ship also has entertainment, by the way. So we are going to also have some nice entertainment inside the deck. So let's go and check that out. What's there? Whoa, so we have some belly dancing, huh? So yes, I mean, you can't leave Egypt without belly dancing. It is the most famous dance and it's an art, okay? Now don't think belly dancing is just for performance and this thing. No, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and tell you a little bit about belly dancing while we try and watch one. So the belly dancing, let me give you a little bit of background to belly dancing. So, according to some, the dance form that took, Sid, are you sharing? Yeah, okay. So, I'm going to play the music for you guys while we. Can you all hear the music? Can everybody hear the music?
No, Anita, we cannot hear the music.
Never mind, because
No,
I'm going to be
Anita,
talking.
we can't.
I'm going to be talking, so just
okay.
watch. Okay. Now, according to some, the dance form that today many people call belly dance is extremely old, and traces of it can be found up to 6,000 years ago. In some pagan societies who used to worship a feminine deity to celebrate women's fertility as something like magic. Egyptian belly dancers were considered among the best in the world, and Egyptian belly dance teachers are extremely sought after even now. Now you can see she's wearing a scarf around her hip, right? So the hip scarves for belly dance practice, it is said that the hip scarf is decorated with coins because dancers a long time ago sewed a real gold coin on their hip scarves as evidence that they were bought and sought after and talented. While belly dancing, it's very showy in style and costuming. The basic dance requires discipline, skill of isolation. Okay, very, very disciplined skill. Like you got to be trained a lot to be a belly dancer. The majority of the movements come from the hip and pelvic region. However, isolations of the shoulder and chest are also vital to a fluid looking performance. Now, I'm going to try playing the music a little louder and hope that you can hear it. Okay, so I think we are going to stop here to Sid, we can stop the sharing. Yep. So everyone, I hope you guys had a great time on the cruise and having this trip to Egypt, to the pyramids. Now, all of you unmute and talk to me, okay? Did you enjoy it?
It was amazing.
Amazing session. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Enjoyed a lot.
Absolutely.
Lovely. I'm
Very
so glad.
informative.
Thank you, Anita. Thank
So
you. And look at
Thank
the
you.
smile
Thank you very much.
on your
Thank
face.
you, Anita.
it was very
I'm
well
so-
researched. It was
Yeah,
very
very
well
well
researched.
I second that,
Like
Sakina.
to have more such places. We would love to have some more places from you.
Oh, thank you. I would
Good
definitely
time to
try my
have it.
best to get to
Yeah. Yes, that would be very nice. But let us know in advance so we can keep that slot and come on to it, you know.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'll try to
Let
do
us
as
know
much
last
as.
minute too.
Anita, where will Anita?
Sorry, somebody was saying something.
Yeah, Anita, I would like to know where will you be taking us next time?
Oh, where would you like to go? You tell me where would you
Dil
like to
mange
go?
more.
Where would you like to go? And we'll go there. Don't worry.
Malaysia.
Malaysia. You want to go you want to go like in the Disneyland place, is it? Like Malaysia,
No
what is
problem.
there? It's
The
just
forest and all the greenery is very beautiful. The country is also very pretty. I have been there, but still I would like to go there virtually.
Maldives. Maldives.
Yeah,
Maldives. Yeah,
Maldives.
yeah.
Yay.
Okay, Maldives with
Maldives.
some diving and yeah, we can probably do Maldives. But then Maldives is going to be just beaches and beaches and beaches
No,
and
no,
nothing more.
no, Anita. There's so much of water games and water plane and what have you.
Anita, go to Hong Kong.
Oh,
Hong Kong is a
Norway.
vibrant
Yes,
city.
Ashok. I've been there.
Hey, but
It's a
if I
very
go to
nice
Hong
city.
Kong, I need a lot of cash for shopping. Huh? Otherwise, it's
Yeah,
going to be.
Yay.
And I'm sure I have to go to Macau. My son in Macau.
Anita, have you been to Egypt yourself? Have you been to Egypt, Anita?
Well, no, I haven't been to Egypt. I went up to Israel and
Machu Picchu, Peru.
Machu Picchu. Yes, now that's a wonder of the world. Absolutely, I
Who
think
is
that
it?
is right.
Who is it? Margaret? Margaret has been to Machu Picchu.
No.
Yeah, Machu
Who is
Picchu
it?
is beautiful. It's got
Very
so much
beautiful.
history
Yeah, I
and
heard
it's
a lot about it.
absolutely fantastic. So maybe we can do a Machu Picchu trip the next
Morocco,
time.
Morocco, Mexico.
Morocco, yes, yes.
Morocco would be nice. Morocco would be nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
Morocco, yeah. That's the shopping markets, absolutely. That would be wonderful.
They have a lot of handicrafts too.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful, fantastic. So I'm so
What about St. Petersburg?
Portugal.
St.
Portugal.
Petersburg.
Maybe Budapest, huh? Maybe Budapest.
Budapest.
Yes,
There's lots
yes.
of in Budapest.
Even Czech Republic.
Austria.
Yeah, we've mentioned the whole
So
list.
much homework.
Israel.
A lot of homework.
Yeah.
Lot of homework.
Yes. So anyway, we'll catch up. You guys know my number, so just call me or send me suggestions on this one, and we'll do it one.
Definitely.
So thank you so much,
Thank
every
so,
one of you.
so
Thank
much,
you
Anita.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
Thank you
Good
so much.
Thank you
Good
for
night.
joining us on this trip.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Anita.
See you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.